Welcome to Northern Lights. I'm Dwain,
I'm Mark.
and today we're going to answer the question: should Francis Ngannou fight Tyson Fury? So it's a very difficult one because we don't actually know if this fight is going to happen. So, what do we sort of know already, Mark?
Well, that poses the question, doesn't it? Because it's all rumours at the minute and just hearsay. But from what I can gather at the minute, just from interviews and things, Francis Ngannou's done a true Geordie and that kind of thing, is that it could be like MMA gloves, but boxing rules sort of thing. Maybe like the old Pride days sort of thing,
yeah,
where it's like a fight, but obviously not MMA rules in there. But that's apparently what I can gauge so far.
yeah. So 4 ounce gloves, stand and bang, kind of like in UFC 3. Um, I wonder how that's going to work because they talked about hybrid rules, and what does that mean by hybrid rules? Because if it's just smaller gloves, it's just a boxing match with smaller gloves. So what does that mean? But because we know so little about it, it's hard to talk about it. So let's assume it's a boxing match with smaller gloves.
Mhm.
Um, and and I don't think Fury would want to do an MMA fight. I just don't think he does.
No, definitely not. That won't happen. But because he is who he is, a lot of people would want to come and just do a boxing fight with him. So
Yeah.
you can't
He
blame either.
doesn't need to do it, does he? Yeah, he doesn't
No,
need
no,
to
no.
do MMA
To be
rules.
honest, neither of them do. To be fair, but another point that this brings us to is because obviously there's been a bit of back and forth with Ngannou and his UFC contract, but isn't he still under contract? He's got one more fight left or something.
Well, it gets a bit confusing. So he's finished his last fight on his contract, but if you have the belt or you win a championship, if you have the belt, you automatically get one more title defense put on. So he has to do one more fight. He's got a championship clause or something like that. So he's still under contract.
Right. So it could potentially be a while. But he's got knee surgery as well. So these are all just very, very early day rumors.
Yeah.
But onto the like you said, Dwayne, let's presume that it's just a boxing fight with
Four
less,
ounce gloves.
yeah, with four
Yeah.
ounce gloves. Presuming that it's that, how do you think this takes place? What do you think the outcome is?
Ngannou dies. No, no, it's too simple. Of course, I mean, you have to ask the question, isn't it? Is Ngannou a harder hitter than Deontay Wilder? Because Francis Ngannou has the the world record for the biggest punch ever in history. Um, the highest recorded punch. So he is the strongest puncher in the world right now. And if he can clip Fury, there's a good chance he'll knock
That
him out.
that's the question, isn't it? Though, it's if he can catch him. You
Yeah.
know, it's I'd think I think probably the safe outcome would just be Fury decision. I don't think he could finish Francis on the feet,
No.
and I don't think Francis could actually catch him. I couldn't see this going. But I mean, this is the great thing about it is that these little rumors happen, and they get fans just like us, the everyday fans. They get us talking and wishing that this could come true. It's almost like you get a super fight thrown at you every time because you get all these
Yeah,
possibilities come at you.
that's the thing. It's going to be entertaining either way, isn't it? And then I also wonder how many rounds is it going to be. So if it's 12 rounds, I don't think Francis has a chance because he doesn't have a great gas tank. He looks knackered after 3. And even when he last fought Cyril Gann, of course, I mean he battered Cyril Gann. Oh, well, he didn't batter him; it was close.
Yeah.
But he wasn't winning a striking match with Cyril. He wasn't doing that. He won by his wrestling, which is very shocking for Francis, of course. Like he wasn't having much success on the feet, and if he can't catch Gan, what are his chances of catching Fury? Really?
Well, how many times? How many times have we seen a fight where you think, well, he's a big power hitter, power puncher, but he won't be able to get that on whoever their opponent is.
Yeah.
It's like I know it doesn't boil down to this primarily, but the old wrestler versus striker, wrestler usually wins. But this when that is taken out of the equation and you just got two boxers or strikers, should we say, and one of them's absolute elite class. That's what he has trained and he has chiseled, and he's the champion of the world in
Yeah.
against where that's just an element of this game.
Especially when we've seen what Fury fights like with not an unskilled boxer, because I don't want to say Wilder's unskilled, because obviously he's
No, definitely.
But for people who do know about boxing, or people who've told me, they're saying his technique's not very good. Like, he's just this big swinger, and that's what he's, But I don't know enough about it to really sort of.
Well, yeah, a lot of my pals have just said he's got a big right hand. That's about it, really. But like I say, I'm not gonna dwell into that one too much. But
it's good to look at that, isn't it? To see that's if Fury deals with big hitters like that, he's proved he can deal with them. And Ngannou's shorter. Like, Ngannou's only like, what, 6'4"? Only 6'4".
Yeah,
Ngannou's a little guy, he's massive, obviously, but Fury's huge, and we've saw him fight Dillian White this weekend, and he deals well with these short, stocky guys very well. So, in all honesty, I don't think there's much chance for Ngannou.
I wouldn't have thought so, no. But the great thing about it is that the further on that this progresses, we'll get more information fed, and eventually, if it happens, you'll get a date. That's when you can start getting fully excited, and that's when we'll come back to these videos when we know exactly what the rules are. We know what ounce gloves they're wearing. We know who's in whose corner. And then we can get another one. But for now, I think that's all we've got time for.
Thanks everyone for watching. If you can like, subscribe, and comment, it really helps us out.